Hello, I'm live. If you can hear me, let me know. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, I'm just going to keep talking. So the topic today is going to be on due diligence. I know a lot of you hear about due diligence when you're watching Shark Tank. You can tell I'm a big fan of Shark Tank. You can hear due diligence whenever you want to do an investment, or you want to buy a business, or you want to buy a property. You always want to do your due diligence. Even with your own personal home that you want to buy, it's important to do due diligence. What it is about? Okay, so basically what it is that you have to do your research. And this is not just a simple Google research. You have to become like a detective. You have to ask yourself, what else are they hiding that they don't want me to know? So by that, if it is a business that you're buying, you want to hire the proper lawyers, the accountants, the appraisals, people to go behind the business, to investigate, to find out what else could be wrong. Because if you sign the papers before you do the due diligence, you may find out a lot of stuff that you may not be aware of. Typical example that I see a lot is people buying businesses. They don't bother to check with the IRS if that person owes money with the IRS or with the state, or how much, if there's any lawsuit pending for that business. There's so much that goes with this topic that I'm just going to brush on a little bit of it. I will go in detail more in my paid club, that I will do a whole program on this. But for now, I'm just going to alert all of you that whenever you are buying anything or investments or going into business with somebody, I want you to do your due diligence. So what do I mean by that is, if you're buying a business, you have to go beyond just looking at their financial statement. So I'm just going to go here and show you my screen, because they have financial statements that everybody will give you their financial statements. But I want you to go beyond that. So let me see, share this here. I'm going to share screen. Share screen, I'll do application. Okay, so make it bigger. Oh, it doesn't look like it's gonna, but I'm going to skip here to QuickBooks here, right here. Hopefully you can see it better over here. So I'm checking on here how you can see it. But if you can see the financial statement, everybody will quickly give you their profit and loss. This is not enough. You need to go behind the numbers. And for you to do that, you need to hire somebody who can go behind the numbers and find out what it's all about. If they tell you that they have, say, whatever they say they have here, let me say they have $4,000 in revenue. Well, you need to dig beyond that. You have to find out how their expenses are broken out, what other debts that they have, who do they owe money to. The biggest thing by buying a business is, who do they owe money to? All the outstanding liabilities. That's where the key is. You need to investigate, especially a lot of people owe IRS and they will not tell you about it. And so not recently, but some time ago, I helped somebody who was buying something. We later on, when I did my investigation, we found out they owe like 300,000 in payroll taxes to the IRS, which they didn't tell the people. I don't know how they were able to maneuver themselves, but somehow it was the previous company that they bought it from, and so it didn't show up on the profit and loss and the balance sheet. And so somehow, I don't know how they do the accounting, but it was hidden until we called the IRS with the tax ID. Then we found out that they owe that kind of money. So my biggest advice for you is please do your due diligence. Some of these businesses, they lease the equipment. So if you don't know and you just bought it, the next day, the owner of the lease will come and say, okay, you just bought this business. We own all this equipment. They can take it all away. So due diligence is number one. You have to do that. If it's a property that you're buying as a rental or even for personal, you want to get an inspector and then you can get an appraiser. Get all those people to go through and make sure what else could be wrong with this property. All right. It's crucial with everything you do. You need to do your research. So I think the big word, due diligence, all it is investigate, investigate, investigate. When I come to investments, so some of you do investment, like you invest in mutual funds, and somebody will come to you with a big hot tip and so, oh, there's this investment people, they can give you 1,000% or crazy percentage something. If it sounds too good to be true, it is probably too good to be true. I don't want to pick on anybody in particular and get myself in trouble, but most recent history, some gentleman promised all these people investment returns. He's really in jail right now for it. None of these people bothered to investigate the profit and loss and the balance sheet that he was producing to them, that it was legit. They just took him at his word. They get these financials. They think, oh, yeah, it's good. So my percentage is safe. For years, a lot of people lost their life savings. I say when you do an investment, make sure that they're FDIC insured. If you're in the United States, if you're in Canada, you have your own version. Australia, UK, you have your own version of making sure that these people are insured. If it's for a financial institution, if it's just a regular investment, do a simple search. And then if they are listed on the stock market, do your simple search. I'm sure you can email somebody or you can call somebody and say, I'm looking to do this investment. I just want to know if they are legit. And they can let you know. So don't take the people who are selling you the items word for it. The statements they give you, take it, but go behind the scenes and do your own research. So I can't stress that enough when it comes to buying businesses, because that's where I see the most problem with that. And some investments too, I see problem that. The other thing too is if you're buying a business, you can walk around the facility where the business is, like in a shopping mall, a strip mall, talk to the neighbors and find out what is the experience dealing with that owner. The key with that is that it's going to tell you the kind of goodwill that he has built with his customers. So if he's been messing with his customers and insulting people and not being nice to them, promise you, when you buy the business, you're going to lose a lot of customers. So he may show you a customer list of 10,000, but when you buy the business, unless you can turn the customer experience around very quickly, you will lose a lot of the customers. So goodwill would depend on how the owner is treating his neighbors and how he's treating his customers. The second thing with the goodwill is you can Ask for a few customers and say, can I talk to a few of your customers? If they're not willing to let you talk to their customers, then the deal is a no-go. You have to be able to talk to a few of the customers, get to know how they feel, and don't let them pick the customers. You take the customer list and you pick whichever one you want to. Mind you, though, you have to sign maybe an NDA that you will not go after those customers if you don't buy the business. So you want to pick your own customers that you want to contact with. We do this in audit all the time. So what we do in audit, and I will get really deep into it in my club, is that we go and get the list. We pick a sample. We don't let the clients pick the sample for us. We pick our sample. We contact those customers. Depending on the balance of what they owe, like we do that for receivable, accounts receivable, meaning what people owe you money. We contact the client and we say, okay, let us know the balance that you owe. So some of it we'll do it blindly. We won't tell them what the client said they owe. We just said, you tell us what the client said you owe. We have another one that we call negative assurance. So that one will just send you the balance and say, this person say you owe them $50. Is that true? If it's true, don't reply. If it's not true, let us know. But if it's a huge balance, we really do it more digging for it. I will go in detail in the club for this one. Also, bank balances. You can do your own investigation. You can get permission from the client, the person that you're buying it from, that you want to consult with a bank and get the balances that they say they do, or the balances in the account. If the deal, you've signed the NDA, you should be able to, or they give the permission to the bank will be able to talk to you. So really, it's more like your investigator. And if you're parting with your money, I say you have to make sure that you really, really do more digging before you part with your money. All right. So I've talked about investments. Do your due diligence. Make sure it's a legit company. The property, get the property inspectors, get a qualified property inspector. Mind you, if you're in business, any expense that you spend to pay a professional, like an accountant or a lawyer or a property inspector, any expense that you spend is a write-off. Okay, so it's better to pay somebody $250 an hour to go dig in all these things. Make sure that you don't sink hundreds of thousands of dollars into something that you could have prevented if you had paid somebody $500-600 to investigate. That expense is a write-off. So it's good for you if you want to really, really pay somebody to make sure that the investment is a solid investment before you get into it. And like I said, for property, for investments, for businesses, and ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Even if they tell you there are 1,000 people bidding for that business, stay firm. Don't rush through the deal. Take your time, do your research. All right. And as always, you are here with me on Facebook. If you're thinking of doing any such thing, hit me up in a PM. Let me know. Don't put it in the comments because I'm always concerned about your privacy. Send me a PM or send me an email, jkennedy@jnkcpa.com. I will be happy to chat with you. And I do have complimentary 20 minutes or 15-20 minutes. There's no charge. I'll be able to find out if what you're trying to do and what kind of professionals that you need. If it's accounting and tax related. If it's not, then I can maybe point you to somebody who can really, really help you and make sure that you secure the right investment for your dollars or your money, whichever country you are in, because I have a lot of you, different countries, different currencies. But you work so hard for your money. Don't part with your money that easily. Okay, So this was just going to be my little power talk, and I've been told to keep my talks below 30 minutes. I don't know, it's kind of hard to do that, but I'm going to try and keep it simple. If anybody is joining me, let me know in the comments if you have questions for me. Otherwise, I'll keep it short. For some reason these days, I don't see the comments when I'm on here. So if I don't see your comments, I'll come back later and then answer your comment. And if it's private, I'll send you a private message. So I hope with this little tidbit, I've been able to shed some light on how to do your due diligence. This is just a tip, a very, very tip of the iceberg. There's more going to happen in my course that I'm doing, the accounting and tax course. Really deep diving into all these stuff. And I'll be back here this afternoon to do a short introduction to what is going to be covered in that course also. And like I said, I have my club going on. It's on-demand accounting advice. It's $97 a month. And with that, you can send me unlimited emails if you have any questions. Or within the group, we will also be talking topics that you guys can pick up. If you want me to cover anything with QuickBooks, I'll be happy to talk. If you want to cover due diligence, do a real deep dive, we'll do that. Whatever topic you pick, doing taxes, I'll be happy to do that in a group as well. So I hope to see you this afternoon shortly, maybe in a couple of hours. I have to get some work done. I'm in the office. So we'll talk soon, and God bless. As always, love you all. Mwah.